Hi, I'm Tatiana, your meditation guide here at Brush and Breath. And for all my sensitive strivers and creative souls out there, this channel is your quiet room on the internet. And today's meditation is designed to start resetting our relationship to stimulation. When attention has been moving rapidly between screens or tasks or various forms of entertainment, a quieter experience can begin to feel flat and even irritating to some degree. So we'll aim to slow that momentum. We'll also work with a basic principle from Buddhist psychology called vedanā, or a feeling tone. Every experience we have is on some level registered almost immediately as pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And it's often more primal than a full-blown emotion or a train of thought. And it often shapes what happens next. We either end up craving more of what feels pleasant, or want to escape or fight what feels unpleasant. And when something feels neutral, we may begin search for more stimulation. So today we'll notice this process without judging it. Think of it as clearing the palette of your attention. So when you're ready, place your phone somewhere where you don't need to hold it or reach for it. Make sure you're in a quiet place. Settle into a comfortable position. Let the body be fully supported. And we'll begin. First, allow your hands to become still. Really still. Let the body settle into the surface beneath it. If it feels comfortable, close your eyes. Or let the gaze rest softly on one quiet, unmoving area. Notice the momentum with which you have arrived here today. Perhaps the mind is still shaky. Perhaps it's replaying something you saw earlier today. Anticipating, scanning, wanting more, wanting less. And there is no need to stop this wandering mind by brute force. Simply notice this movement, this momentum, the velocity of the day. Feel the points of contact, the seat beneath you, the feet touching the floor, your legs supported, the back resting, and your hands making contact with fabric, with skin, or one another. And let that physical contact become more noticeable than mental momentum. The surface beneath you is not asking for your response or reaction. It simply holds your body. for this precious few minutes. You don't need to search for anything more interesting than what's already here. You can notice the temperature in the room, sounds nearby, maybe your own breath, maybe the sounds of your internal organs. Look closely. Is there any distance between you and that sound? Now move to the sounds farther away. Maybe birds chirping outside. Maybe a train going by. And what's the farthest sound you can hear? Maybe you can hear the stars. Now bring your attention back to the breath. It doesn't mean you need to deepen it or slow it down deliberately. Simply notice where breathing is easiest to feel today. Perhaps at the nostrils, just a faint touch of air. Perhaps at the chest, a small expansion and release. And perhaps in the belly, a quiet rising and falling. And pick one location, just one for today. And let your attention remain there for the next couple of minutes, because it's available to you right now. Simply notice one inhale and one exhale. Then the next inhale and the next exhale. You might notice a tendency of the mind to immediately start thinking, planning, rehearsing. Simply notice that. Now when it happens, recognize or label it. Searching, scanning, and return to the breath. Do this ordinary inhale, and yet another exhale. Our palette of attention may initially find the simplicity kind of bland. And that is all right. We're letting it adjust. So stay with the sensation of a single inhale as closely as you can. And then exhale. And notice that even this seemingly very simple object is not completely repetitive. One breath might be slightly cooler, one slightly warmer, one fuller, one shorter. One can be very clear and prominent, and the next one barely perceptible. And the key is to stay long enough to notice. And when and if attention wanders, return simply, without irritation if you can. Each return is a part of this reset. Now allow your awareness to widen a little bit beyond your breath. Keep your breathing in the background and begin noticing the sensory details of your whole body. Feel the weight of your hands. Perhaps one hand feels different than the other. Notice the content of fabric against your skin, the texture of your clothing or accessories. And these sensations may feel very faint and very familiar. And that's all right. We're not trying to make them stronger. Notice the air in the room caressing your face gently. Perhaps at the cheeks. Perhaps at your forehead and the nose and the lips. Notice any additional background sounds that may be present. Their tone, their pitch, their frequency. A sound begins. It remains here for a few moments. And then it fades. Perhaps another sound appears. No need to pursue it. Let it come to you. We're practicing shifting from scanning and searching to receiving. Scanning mind tends to lean outwards, but the receiving remains available, open, full of ease. Keep letting all these sensations and sounds arrive without reaching towards them or chasing after them. Perhaps you notice the breath again. Maybe it expresses itself as the movement of the ribs or the subtle motion in the belly. Perhaps you feel it as a faint pulse somewhere in the body. Your hands, your throat, your chest cavity. Let these slow, subtle sensations become somewhat more apparent. Maybe you can taste coolness, clarity, and quiet sense of relief. And now bring your attention to just one sensation in the body that's noticeable enough for you right now. And just pick one for today without thinking about it too much. And again, you can always stick with the breath. Without analyzing it first, notice its feeling tone. Is it pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral? There is no correct answer to this question. And also, feeling tone can change moment to moment. Now notice the sound. And again, does it register as pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral? Now switch to the point of contact of the body with the surface. Perhaps pleasant because it feels soothing, or maybe unpleasant because the body feels restless or agitated, or perhaps neutral, neither especially enjoyable or uncomfortable. And for the next few minutes, I invite you to become especially curious about this neutral sensation. Neutral experience is often overlooked, since it doesn't hurt, it doesn't excite us. It's simply there. Maybe you feel the contact of clothing against the body, where the sensation is neither clearly pleasant nor unpleasant. And rest your attention there, or any other place that feels plain and ordinary today. Notice what your mind does with this neutrality. Does it immediately become bored? Does it begin to scan and reach out again? Crave for a new object of attention? Or does it start producing multiple thoughts about the past or the future? See it clearly. Often when the experience is neutral, the mind interprets this neutrality as absence, as if we're missing something or lacking something. But neutral doesn't mean worthless. It often means quiet, simple, low intensity. Not so much in your face. And see whether you can remain with this neutral sensation just a little longer than usual. Perhaps the mind immediately labels it as boring, but notice boredom as another type of experience, a sensation in the body or a passing thought. No need to fight it, no need to manufacture interest. Just stay with it. And the palette of attention clear with this cool waters of neutrality. And at first, neutrality can feel like a blank space of sorts. But if you remain close, you may begin to notice that even this seemingly blank space has tiny fluctuations. Tiny specks of color in the white. Neutral can become a lot more refreshing when we stop demanding that it entertains us, or that it proves itself valuable or useful. The key is to stay with your chosen neutral sensation long enough, without checking out. And we'll practice just that for the next 3 minutes. Notice what begins to happen around these feeling tones. When something is neutral, you might want to move on. And notice whether some form of wanting is perhaps already present in your field of experience. Maybe there is an urge to move, to open your eyes, see how much time has passed. Maybe there is a subtle urge to make this meditation more pleasurable, more fulfilling, to make the mind quieter and more obedient. Even when staying with a neutral object, we might have these hot urges. And notice this urge as a physical event in your body. Perhaps it feels like slightly leaning forward internally, or a small grasping movement with your hands or one hand, or your eyes tensing, your jaw clenching. But do not shame it. Simply stay with the moment before or during that reaching movement if you can. You might silently note, oh, craving, searching, grasping. And then return to the body. And again, just like any object, the urge is also not static. It may flicker, may intensify, and it may completely fade. Now see whether you can allow this one really mild urge to linger here for a little bit. Again, not to be judged, but simply observed. Craving or aversion can certainly be here without becoming an action. Once you become familiar with it, you will see that you don't have to complete every thought or impulse that arises. It's completely optional. And then let your body senses. Now let's switch to noticing one sensation that feels, let's say, mildly pleasant. Something that's, again, already here in the body. Maybe it's simple as the warmth of the blanket on your lap, or the relief of being able to take a break and do this meditation, or the easing that comes with a nice deep exhale. And again, pick one and let your attention rest there. And notice the difference between simply enjoying and grasping. Enjoying receives. Your heart opens. When grasping tightens, and something shuts down. Enjoying is typically close to the experience, while grasping is already somewhere, thinking one step ahead, how to keep this experience and make it stronger. And let this pleasant sensation stay simple. Let it be modest, enough in its current size. There's no need to turn this pleasantness into a peak experience. Simply receive it. Perhaps the sensation changes, and in this case, just let it change. Perhaps it fades away or becomes neutral. And again, just let it do what it wants to do. The practice is to notice that pleasure can be present, that it can come and go, without becoming a craving for more. And again, I invite you to simply receive this quiet satisfaction of making contact, of resting in stillness, of not needing to pursue anything for the next couple of minutes. When you're ready, begin to come back to the sound of my voice and to feel the whole body again. Your hands, your feet, your face. Notice the room around you, various lights and sounds. Before we close out today's session, choose one simple action to do right after this meditation. Maybe it's slowly drinking a cool glass of water, or stretching, or washing your face. And see if you can stay with it fully. Savor it. No additional soundtrack playing in the background. No need to make it productive. No need to make it mean anything. And may this ordinary experience recover its full flavor for you. Thank you for practicing with me today. And if this helped at all, inhale once and tap subscribe so we can sit together again. See you next time.